Hey, everybody. It's Allie, and welcome to our Y&R chat for Sunday, January 18th, 2026. So do you guys remember last year when Sharon got all hopped up on PCP and threw Heather's body off a bridge and into the river? Well, Nick is about to get all hopped up on hospital drugs and put Matt Clark into a shallow grave. They really are meant to be. Best soap super couple, murdery. Y&R loves this theme. All on drugs and doing things you just wouldn't normally do. Murderous things. And I don't know about you, but I feel like Nick is so extra sexy when he has got that murderous look in his eye. It's funny because honestly, the second that AI program hit Newman Enterprises, I was thinking Matt Clark was yesterday's news. Matt, who even cares? But then on Friday, Nick shows up at the Abbott house wanting to do some negotiation. The negotiation that Victor didn't do, because early in the week, Jack and Kyle hauled Matt Clark down to the ranch and tried to make a deal with Victor to trade Matt for the AI program. No, actually, no. Not even for the AI program. They just wanted to trade to destroy the AI program, just to get rid of it altogether. And I have to say, Matt just sat there the entire time, running his mouth. And it was honestly some of the most hilarious parts of the week. Like, he was digging in deep on everybody. I especially kind of liked his comment to Jack about punching up when it comes to the ladies that he dates. He was just going hard on everybody. Although, in all fairness, he just needed a snack. Matt was hangry. I think we can all identify with that. But Victor said, I've got some other problems to deal with. I can't deal with this right now. So Jack and Kyle, I guess, just kind of popped Matt back into the car and drove him back to the Abbott house. And then on Friday, Nick shows up offering to make a deal in exchange for Matt once and for all. He will honor I don't know how he's going to honor any AI request when Newman doesn't have it, but he said he's going to make good on the deal that protects Jabot in exchange for Matt Clark. And by the way, I really loved the moment where Jack said to Nick, "Are you all right? Can I offer you some ibuprofen or something?" I mean, that's all that I have. It's not like I have a bunch of pills or anything, because I swear I do not have any pills upstairs because, well, you know me. But Kyle, run upstairs to my medicine cabinet and grab Nick a vitamin I. Phyllis is the queen. And she likes for it to be acknowledged in bed, too, by the way, which I find to be completely reasonable. Okay. It is time to throw down on this Y&R Chatters. Poll question of the week. Pick a side. Phyllis and Cane or the Newmans? YRChat.com. I cannot wait to see the raw numbers on this, because this was a lot of unexpected fun. I mean, it was like, is this really happening? It's almost hard to believe, probably because some of it was so ridiculous. But honestly, out of everything that happened this week, the best moment of the week for me had to be Phyllis's dream, where Victor handed her the oversized key to Newman Enterprises. Oh, that dream says it all. Absolutely nothing else even needs to be said. Phyllis is almost cartoonishly ready to accept her accolades for pulling off this genius move. She wants everyone to know she's the queen, she's a genius, she's the queen, she's a genius. But what that dream tells me is that it's not gonna last. She has some unrealistic expectations for the payoff here. I have to say, too, and this is a big red flag, Victor seemed almost too calm about the whole thing. Did anyone else feel that way? I mean, his entire empire was being sucked away, minute by minute, hour by hour, and it took him an entire episode to even get up out of the chair. Nikki and Nick were the only ones who seemed truly upset. Victoria's going to check in next week, but this week, Victoria and Adam were basically just checking their phones, making some polite, quiet phone calls while their entire family business is being ripped out from under them. And then Victor went to go visit Phyllis and Cane, knowing that they were the ones behind this. It was a real post-coitus situation, too, by the way. I mean, they rolled right out of bed, over into the office, and then, boom, the great man is at the door in his leather jacket questioning them. I loved that Cane kind of tried to skirt around it, and Phyllis said, no, babe. I want to take credit for this. So, I guess I should pause here just to say that I am really happy for Phyllis and Cane that they're getting off on this whole thing. It is refreshing. And visually, I appreciate it. They both look so good in various states of undress. Phyllis's body, at 60 years old, defies nature. My hat's off to her. She is incredible looking. And Kane's chest is just, it's been begging to come out and play, and finally it had the chance. I'm so glad Lily left. When Lily was around, he had the big blue eyes and the rose and the romantic, declarations and such. But Phyllis was able to convince his chest to come out and play, and I appreciated that even more. So Victor marched into the train office right as they were celebrating, and he tried negotiating with them. It's almost funny that Victor really seemed to think that he could just write a check and all of this would go away, that everything would go back to normal. But Cane told him, no way! You didn't have any mercy for me, so why should I have any mercy for you? Fair point. But it was a little tough to watch, I have to admit. I love that this is happening because it's good drama. It gives us something different for the show. Victor not always winning, Victor actually losing something. But it is a little hard for me because Newman Enterprises doesn't just feel like it belongs to the Newman family. It almost feels like Newman Enterprises also belongs to the fans. It's not the same as Arabesque. Arabesque was born and died all within the course of a summer. This is Newman Enterprises. Thinking about it just being sucked away bit by bit right into Phyllis and Cane's greedy hands, it definitely pokes my gut. Not gonna lie. I mean, if it was wrong for Victor to do it to Cane, then it's wrong for Cane to do it to Victor. And in all of this, Phyllis is somehow getting off scot-free. Phyllis is the one who stole it from Cane. Phyllis is the one who traded it to Victor in the first place, but Cane doesn't, for some reason, hold her accountable for that. It's only a matter of time. Somehow in this version, though, Phyllis gets the key. Somehow in this version, Phyllis sees this as professional success, even though Victor built his company from the ground up. Pretty sure I heard him say that a couple times. Victor built the company from the ground up, and Phyllis just stole it. Cane and Phyllis have just stolen it. And, you know, at the end of the day, Cane created something illegal. Phyllis stole the illegal thing. Victor used the illegal thing. Now Cane is using the illegal thing that he created illegally against the person who used it illegally against him. I mean, no one is innocent here. No one looks good here. Except for maybe Cane and Phyllis when they're in bed. This was a good week for Nick fans. I mean, was it just me, or was everybody thinking that he was looking extra good? Hobbling around town on one crutch. Hey, Nick, crutches are designed to be used as pairs. You're gonna have a much better time hobbling around town if you would try using two of them. But whatever. He was like so extra manly, struggling his way through every single movement, popping those pills, working on that drug problem rather than just sitting his butt down. Adam made time to go visit Nick in the hospital while total destruction of the family business was going on in the background. It was nice. It was a nice moment. Adam has been in a lot more scenes lately too, and I love that. And I always enjoy seeing the Newman siblings actually working together on something, and this is a really good opportunity for that. That's another reason why, even though I'm voting Newman in this week's poll, I still like the story. I still like this. It creates conflict, and yet at the same time it can create a coming together. Because as soon as Adam told Nick what was really going on, Nick got himself up right out of bed, disregarded the doctor's orders, apparently just got a quick script refill, marched right out the door, went straight to the ranch, and that's when he learned that Phyllis was the one behind this. So Nick hobbled over to the train car with one crutch, and he let her have it. He tried the nice way. He tried appealing to her emotional side. And when she did not react to that, he said, then I will grind you into dust, and I think I'll enjoy it too. Woo! I actually really liked that he tried to appeal to their history first, because there was this moment where Nick said, okay, Phyllis, I want you to think about this. Who else knows you as well as I do? And when he said that, I thought, you know what? He is right. That is true. There's probably no other single person I can think of who knows Phyllis as well as Nick does. And I've always really loved Nick and Phyllis's relationship. But, she said so herself, like, I have no friends. What friends are you even talking about? It's a shame that the Sharon relationship has come and gone. I mean, Sharon has no interaction with Phyllis anymore at all. And yet, Phyllis and Nick still have always had this through line. Even when they were not together in a relationship, they still had a through line. And even that could not change Phyllis's mind. The only thing that seemed to move Phyllis's needle even a little bit was the thought that Summer might be upset over it all. And Cane tapped into that. He knows what it feels like to be disowned by your children. He doesn't want that for her. And I think deep down, Phyllis just does not believe that's a possibility. I think she thinks she's going to be able to talk her way out of this. Absolutely. That Nick can go ahead and tell Summer it's not going to matter. And I don't know how the heck it's going to matter anyway when we don't even have a Summer on the show right now. How is it going to matter what Summer thinks when we don't have a Summer on the show right now? We need a Summer. For this to matter, we need a Summer. Phyllis's worries about Phantom Summer's disapproval is no more effective than Cane's worries about Phantom Maddie and Charlie's disapproval. It just doesn't even register for me. And plus, here's the thing. Here's the grit of it. Even if Nick were able to change Phyllis's mind, Phyllis is not really the one who's in control. I know Phyllis thinks she's in control, but I think she also knows deep down that she's not. And that's why she is trying to psychologically own Cane, trying to psychologically dominate him, because she knows deep down that she don't own any of this. It's Cane's program, and Cane is the one in control. It's interesting that Cane was the one in the past telling Billy to be happy with what he had. Cane specifically told Billy to do whatever he could do to prioritize his relationship with Sally, to not lose that love of his life, because Cane regretted doing that with Lily. Prioritize family and love. And then the second Cane gets back in control, he's waving temptation in Billy's face. And not just any temptation, mind you. The temptation. The one temptation that has endured Chancellor Industries. Billy was a co-CEO of that company. Jill sold it out from under him, and he had to get a different job. Happens all the time. But for some reason, Billy has never been able to let it go. He has made it a part of his identity. And Cane knows that. And now he's dangling that carrot right in front of Billy's face. And Sally is flipping out. Sally is trying so hard to keep Billy right where she wants him. And I don't know about you, but I feel like it's getting desperate and clingy and just not appealing. At the end of the day, you can't make anybody else do or feel anything that you want them to. At the end of the day, the only thing that you can control is your actions. So the more Sally tries to squeeze Billy tight, the more that she tries to hold on and keep him where she wants him, the more he is going to feel suffocated, and the quicker their relationship is going to end. In fact, if Billy was on the fence at all about taking Cane's deal, then he is definitely going to do it now after the argument they had. All she did was push him toward it by forcing him to defend it. And I'm not saying that she's wrong. In fact, I think her instincts are right. But Sally always gravitates toward the bad boys and then tries to change them into good boys. It's what she tried to do with Adam, and I'm realizing now that it's not a coincidence that we're seeing more of Adam on the screen right at the same time that Billy and Sally are crumbling. This week, Tessa told Sharon that she's filing for divorce from Mariah, and it was so sad. It honestly almost felt like Tessa was breaking up with Sharon. You know, for all this time, for all these months that Mariah has been gone, I guess I foolishly thought that somehow Tessa and Mariah were going to end up finding their way back to each other. I guess I just thought that somehow, sometime, Mariah would have a breakthrough and that she would return to Genoa City and that there would be a triangle between Tessa and Mariah and Daniel. But now I think, I don't know, maybe that's not even true. Maybe it really is over, because even if Mariah does come back now or soon, it's probably too late. Tessa has had to work really hard psychologically to climb over the brick wall that Mariah put between them, that Tessa just cannot get through, that it's impossible to get through. And I just think that once Tessa has done the work, realizing what Mariah has done to her, trying to process the fact that Mariah basically abandoned them, and not just abandoned her, abandoned their child too. It's just gonna be impossible to go back now. Even if they did give it another try, Tessa would always be wondering, well, when's the next time that Mariah is gonna leave again? At this point, the stability of their family life and the trust in their relationship dynamic, and even just like the faith in their love, it's all gone. Sanctimonious Master of the Universe Windbag. Who said that mouthful on this week's Y&R? Sanctimonious Master of the Universe Windbag. I think we can probably guess who it's about. But the challenge is for you to guess who said it. And if you'd like to find out, you should go to yrchat.com to get the answer. Birthday shout out to Tanya, whose birthday is tomorrow. Happy birthday, Tanya. I hope you have a wonderful day. Hey, why not make it a whole week? Have a happy birthday week, Tanya. Oh, let's read some of your comments, starting with T. Nicole, who says, I think the Mariah storyline can be good, But I need more than a random Mariah episode sprinkled in here and there, and more consistency on showing her breakdown. I'm not sure if the actress's schedule is very tied up. I would love to know the answer to this too, T. Nicole, because I have seen people saying that Cameron Grimes asked for some personal time off from the show. She does have a new baby. And that's fine. I do wish, though, that Y&R just would have found a quieter way to give her the time. They created this dramatic story instead where Mariah maybe murdered somebody. I guess she didn't murder somebody, and then she's in a mental institution and she's seeing Ian Ward, and is he really there? They created this really potentially appealing storyline mystery to be able to unravel, and then they tried doing it without the character. You know what I mean? You can't tell the story of Mariah in this big dramatic mental health thing and then not have Mariah. That's the problem. That's the point. And everything that I have seen about Cameron Grimes says that she is planning on returning early this year. But like I said, it's gonna be done for Mariah and Tessa. I do not see Tessa going backwards after she's come this far. She feels resolved to me. I think she is going to do what she has to do to protect Arya, and I don't think that necessarily means having more Mariah in her life. Yeah, it's kind of a misstep for the storyline. Steven says Sally is misidentifying Billy's tell as an obsession with Chancellor, but look at his face. It's actually the eye of the gambler. Months ago, Victoria saw that same look and called him out on it. As he pursues that high, nothing else matters. Not his relationships, his future, or his business. This is an excellent point, Stephen, because it really isn't even about Chancellor Industries. I think you're right. It's about Billy's desire. It's about Billy chasing the thing that he doesn't have, him chasing the high that he wants to achieve. And there is no arguing with that. There is no logic that can compete with that. Anything Sally says at this point is just really doing damage to the relationship. It's not convincing him to change. Connie says, I have been team Billy and Sally all along, and I truly felt they were a good balance for each other. However, Sally has gone from holding Billy accountable for his actions to trying to control him by nagging or guilt trips. Granted, Billy should have left a note saying that he was having coffee with Cane instead of the going for a run lie, but she is not helping by jumping to conclusions or being an armchair psychiatrist about his relationship with Jill. I'm thinking this is the beginning of the end for them, and it makes me sad. Yeah, Connie, I think you're right. I definitely think this is the end of Billy and Sally. And I also really like your insightfulness here that Billy and Sally's relationships, when she started out, she was holding him accountable, and that feels different. That has a different tone to it, where she's just pointing it out and watching it, and if I still like this for my life, I'll stay. If I don't, I'm gone. And instead, Sally has moved into damage control mode. Sally is scrambling. Sally is scared, and she has explained all of those reasons why. I think it triggers her past anxieties about, her father, trying to, want to save her father. I think she's placing that onto Billy to some extent. And yeah, it's becoming very increasingly desperate, and it's doing more harm than good at this point. Sue W. says, I think Sally has long gone over and beyond in granting wild child Billy any grace. Move on, Sally. It's been fun, but you two are stuck in different ballparks. He revels in wallowing in the same old mud, while your should-be still vibrant self should be still open to shiny new toys that might actually prove worthy. I know, you're right. And it also just totally speaks to the deficit in Sally's character. It's just she's still so young and fresh and ambitious, and that's the Sally I want to see. Not this, constant watching over Billy, a constant watchfulness. It wasn't fun with when it was Victoria. It wasn't fun when it was Lily. It wasn't fun. Actually, it was sort of least this way with Chelsea, but it's certainly not fun now. Nobody's having fun now. Diane K says, please, Billy, dump Sally. She just keeps nagging and nagging. It is not a good look. You are not his mother. Yeah. And she was certainly playing that card, wasn't she? It was almost like she went behind his back to get that funding from Jill. And now she's playing the mother card. It is a little oddly manipulative. I will say that. Naomi says, Sally demands to know every detail of every thought Billy might have. She's exhausting. Yeah, I have to say, like, I have never skipped Y&R. I never skip a scene, but there definitely was a part of me when that whole argument was going on that was thinking, I wish I could skip this. I wish I didn't have to endure more of this, because it's just painful and it's clearly going nowhere. Ooh, let's talk about this. Russell says, Nick is sitting in the Abbott living room admitting that he's planning on murdering Matt to Jack and Kyle, and they aren't even surprised. Yeah. I mean, it was veiled though, right? Nick was kind of saying, I'm going to take care of him once and for all. Do you think, I guess this is a good question. First of all, like, Nick's planning on murdering Matt. That's what why else would he go? He went to Sharon's house to get towels. Why didn't he go to the ranch or his house? Why do you have to bring Sharon's house into this? He goes to get some towels out of the drawer. Like, it's like he was, I don't know, gonna soak up some blood with those tea towels. I don't know. But he was definitely straight up planning to murder him. But I'm not sure, did Jack and Kyle connect that? I don't know that they did, because it's almost unthinkable that would be his solution, but I can't see any other way around it. I can't see what else we could read between those lines when Matt Clark is bound and gagged in the trunk of Nick's car, and he's getting like tools, got tools out of the shed. By the way, I loved seeing Nick outside the picture window of the cottage. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, we're so used to seeing out from the inside out, and we actually, we saw him outside that window getting a shovel or something, I guess, from the little tool shed. And then towels? That says murder to me. Victoria says, I had a quick laugh today when Nick was all grimacing and in obvious pain, and his one feeble crutch said, "Give me Matt Clark. I'm the only one who can handle him." Obviously, that is not true. His last attempt ended up in hospitalization. Although, as others have said, Joshua Morrow is acting to the max. That tickles me. Acting to the max. Hell yeah, he is, Victoria. And also, yeah, Nick had his chance to take care of Matt Clark once and for all. And he chose zip ties on the wrist and a back seat luxurious ride. If Nick would have just had Matt in the trunk in the first place, I don't know, maybe he would have been able to kill him a week earlier. Because now knowing that Nick is I can't see any other thought in his mind. He's not going to drive him out of town. He's going to kill him. And so that means that's what he was going to do before. And now he's just following through with it. To the max. Tavi says, oh, Nick, He swallowed so many pills at once and already needs a refill. Not a good sign. I think this addiction will be a good story, though. You know, I was thinking this is an addiction storyline. Last week at this time, I saw him popping the pill and I thought, this is an addiction storyline. But now what I really think it is just an excuse to have Nick over the edge storyline. I don't think it's going to endure. I don't think we're going to see weeks and weeks of Nick struggling with his addiction. I think this is being used to fuel the murderousness. And I think it'll quickly resolve. I just don't see it being like an ongoing thing. Although I could be wrong. Jack did offer him the ibuprofen, and maybe Jack could be someone to help Nick through his addiction issues. And who knows, maybe that's something that Victor will appreciate. Maybe Jack can reach out to Nick and help him, and Victor can say, "Thank you for helping my son," and then maybe they can go on being not enemies for another 3 months. Sue W. says Joshua Morrow was terrific today, as an in both physical and emotional pain, nearly unhinged and feeling very betrayed. Nick. Sometimes Nick's tough guy persona borders on laughable, but he was very believable. Fire today. I know. This was a good week for Joshua Morrow. He really brought it. I mean, I felt it. I felt both the physical and the emotional pain, and it was riveting. Absolutely riveting. Far more riveting, honestly, than AI stuff. I mean, that really drew me right in. Robin says Nick was awesome today with Phyllis. Best performance in a long time. I have always been a Phyllis fan, but I want to see her ground to dust. She and Cane are criminals. Victor did build the company from nothing. I think Summer will be back and she and Daniel will teach Phyllis a lesson by abandoning her. Has anyone seen any casting updates that might indicate that Summer is coming back? I mean, any of the Summers would be fine. A brand new Summer would be fine with me. But we need, nonetheless, a Summer. Oh, Sue W. says Phyllis is unrelenting and desperate, pathetic, bitter, pick any spiraling adjective. Need for validation consistently fuels her revolving self-sabotage. As obnoxious as her present gloating is, I gotta kind of root for her to at least glory in her misguided moment while she can, because her eventual falls are each more brutally more painful than the last. Oh, Phyllis, you are one terrific soap character. Go Red to whatever soapy heck it always leads. And you know what else, Sue W? I just really keep zeroing in on that key to Newman Enterprises moment, too, because I really think that highlights that the Phyllis character is not fully meant to be taken seriously. It was almost so turned up that it was cartoonish. And I think I've, in more recent years, understood that. I mean, even just thinking back to the octopus in the bed Phyllis, it was always turned up so far that it was borderline comedic. And I think that Michelle Stafford is particularly talented at giving a comedic performance. I think that's how she sees it. If I had to guess, I don't know it, how she approaches it, because there's certainly some drama in there too. But moments like that really highlight that, you know, it can't be taken like too seriously. It is there for the drama. It's there meant to spark conversation and get people's attention. And Phyllis does that. Over and over again, good or bad, she does that. Ryan says, is anyone else getting flashbacks of Tucker and Sharon taking over Newman Enterprises in 2012 with this new Cane and Phyllis storyline? I think there are obvious differences. Phyllis is more motivated by actual greed and power, but Sharon was having a bipolar episode at the time, and both women were fueled by revenge against Victor. If the fallout from that situation was any indication of things to come for Phyllis, it's not gonna end well for her. that I barely remember that. Sharon and Tucker, wow. But this just jogs a memory for me. Of all the things that Phyllis has held on to over the years, I'm surprised she didn't mention the Marco situation. The fact that she was married to Jack, and Victor had Jack replaced with a double. So there was a period of time where Phyllis was sleeping with a Jack that wasn't Jack. I mean, that's reason to never forgive Victor. The reneging on their deal over the AI program, which frankly, Victor never really did. He never reneged. She just assumed he was going to, and she stormed off and decided to, the deal was never ended. He never ended. He never said, no, I'm not going to help you. I'm not going to give you what you want. She just assumed it and stormed off. So of all the things that Phyllis could be mad at Victor about, she has reasons, absolutely. But it seems like the writing didn't dig very deep into the past to find them. Russell says, yes, Phyllis deserves a win after the year she's had. And even if it hurt Victor, sure. But what she is doing is hurting every single Newman. The adults, kids, grandkids, spouses, and probably a lot of Newman employees will be ruined. All because she deserves a win? That's pretty self-absorbed and narcissistic. Cane offering Chancellor to Billy is like giving a free rock and a lighter to a recovering crack addict. Yeah, I know, right? It's not great for Phyllis and Cane. It's not a great look, but it is a dramatic and soapy look, so we'll take it. Connie says Victor has the unmitigated gall to chastise Phyllis for attacks on the Newman Enterprise, on the Newmans being hurtful to Summer, but has no remorse or concern for hurting her or Harrison when he attacks the Abbotts. Nor does he ever consider Johnny or Katie when he attacks Billy. Will our modern-day Hatfield and McCoy feud end when the grandchildren come of age? Better yet, can we get Summer back? The fans are asking. Certainly Y&R will respond. Tavi says, it's so satisfying to watch Victor lose. Cane and Phyllis are a power couple, and I love them. Yeah, I know a lot of people have been saying they are ready to see Victor finally lose. And I think Y&R is giving us that. I just don't know for how long. Eric says, Victor is the J.R. Ewing of The Young and the Restless. I like Phyllis, but I don't like Cane. Together they're jerking around Victor. Victor is really rich and really ruthless and would have no qualms about doing something really bad to both Phyllis and Cane that is scary. He is a lion when it comes to business. I'm just saying. The duo of destruction better watch out. Victor has long gone over the tipping point with those two. Oh, the J.R. Ewing of The Young and the Restless. That's right, Eric. Here's a fun comment from Kamna saying, I loved 2 lines on Monday's episode. Number 1, Matt Clark, a snack. I want a snack. And Phyllis, all aboard. Which was code for let's get it on. Yeah, she actually said all aboard. Finally, somebody said. The snack moment was probably second to the Phyllis Key moment. He just needed a snack. He was so funny. Matt Clark was so funny. I almost wish we could kill Matt Clark, find out that he had a twin, and then just bring Roger Howarth back in as a smart alecky kind of character, but less rapey and all that. Of course, I said this thing about Cameron Kirsten. Y&R does a good job of bringing us good villains. We have asked for villains, and boy, the show is villain heavy lately. This is funny. Russell says, extra alert. Did anyone notice the drunk extra woman at the bar at Society? She was heavy flirting with the bartender with her eyes and taking a lot of sips from her red wine. Russell, I did not see that, but I think it's absolutely worth mentioning because probably everybody else did. I don't know how I missed it, but those are the little touches that I really enjoy about the show. I remember when we were in the COVID period and there was no extras in the scene and it felt so empty. It's almost one of those things that you don't appreciate until it's gone, but those little moments really make a scene feel lived in. Good catch. Well, last week I asked you guys to fill in the blank on where you would get a job in Genoa City. So let's say you live in Genoa City, you got to have a job. Where would you work? Quite a few people said Crimson Lights, with or without Esther. Take your pick. A lot of people said Newman IT, Newman Publishing, Newman Media. Several people said Jabot. Of course, that would be really fun because working at Jabot, maybe you'd get some freebies. I love these answers. The GCPD, since no one else works there. Fairview, great answer. Walnut Grove, great answer. And Genoa City Memorial. I was hoping some people would pick some locations across town that are not seen every day, but we know exist, because that's fun too, to imagine those parts of the town. Work, I'd rather be an heir to one of the rich families. Jobless, living a life of luxury, making horrible mistakes at every turn, hated and loved by all. That's fun. I'd like to work as Victoria's office assistant. She's rarely in the office, so I could work and listen to music all day long without interruption. Yes, and podcasts. I like this answer too. I don't trust any of these people, so I will be a horse trainer at the ranch. Wow, you heard it here first. The most desirable job in Genoa City, a horse trainer at the ranch. I love that one. Aw, I got another book review for the Fauna and the Flora this week, and I just want to read it. 5 out of 5 stars. Better than I expected. I have never read anything like this. It feels like watching a TV show, but it still reads like a novel and somehow pulls it off. The story kept drawing me back in for just one more chapter. I'm glad I took a chance on this one. It's rare that a book surprises me like this. Thank you. You do not know how much that means to me. That's a really good review. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Reviews help a lot. If there's anybody else who has finished the book and feels compelled to leave an honest review, whatever you thought or felt, I would really appreciate that. Amazon, Audible, those are great places. Or I don't know if you use Goodreads. Amazon's the place that helps me the most, but anywhere, if you could just, even social media, just say a few, say or type a few lines about the book, that really helps me out, and I really appreciate it. Southside Granny asks, Allie, where do I need to go for the book club? Well, I've got a 5 video series that discusses the book act by act. It's on YouTube, so you can read through the first commercial break and then go watch and chat with me about the Fauna and the Flora, the characters, the sets, the plots. All of that is on YouTube. It's also reposted to Facebook if that's where you'd like to go. You can also just go to restlessforest.com. All of my social media links are there. Signed editions, digital extras, the 3-hour podcast with my husband. It's all at restlessforest.com. And if you haven't picked up the book yet and haven't had a chance to read it, winter is the great time to cozy up. You should go check it out, The Fauna and the Flora. It's pretty much everywhere books are sold, and it's also available as an audiobook too. Pretty fun to listen to me voicing all of the different parts. I really, really think that if you guys give it a chance, you'll like it. I know it's a little odd. It's an odd genre. It's new. It's all new. I mean, no one has ever done this before. There are no other soap operas in a book, certainly not in the way that I've written it. So it's new, but I think it's very fresh and exciting. And as soap opera fans, especially as soap opera fans who've been watching forever, the way many of us have, I really think that you guys will appreciate it if you want to go check out the Fauna and the Flora. If not, you're under no obligation. You're welcome to just sit here and chat about Y&R with me. I do it every week for the past 17 years, I think. And there's no stopping. So why don't you come back next Sunday? I will be here. I hope to see you too. yrchat.com if you want to chat about the show throughout the weeks. Vote in the poll, see the photos, all the good stuff that's there. I love you guys, and I will see you next time. Bye.